What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video we're diving into the Psychic Cup for the first time. This is a meta that has been around for a while. It's not always the greatest. Some people love it, some people don't, and that's due to the very small pool of meta Pokemon that people are running. You can either climb a lot of rating because you've found a team that works and you climb, or you just hate that there's really not a lot of variety and this is a week that you skip. You guys let me know. But what I did find is that one of my teams, or at least the core of my team, that I love using is still incredibly strong. That is going to be the Galarian Rapidash there with high horsepower. I know PV Poke recommends Megahorn because Megahorn is super effective against Psychic type Pokemon. But let me tell you what, much like in previous seasons with the Psychic Cup, I land so many free high horsepowers against poison types, right? The Slowbros and Slowkings, against Victinis. It is unbelievably satisfied to land free charge moves like that when they don't expect it. Body Slam already does great against Psychic type Pokemon, so why not have coverage against your weaknesses instead of doing no damage to a Victini, right? Claydol as well. That Mud Slap upgrade allows it actually to be good. And Claydol actually puts in work for me today. I was really impressed. This team overall for me, I did 2.5 sets with it and I only lost 1 battle. And you might be wondering why 2.5 sets? Well, because I spent 2.5 sets trying other Pokemon and teams that didn't work out. So those are all the battles I had left. I believe it's 12 battles overall. So technically 11-1 with this team. Really solid. Can't speak highly enough about high horsepower. It's beautiful. Hope you guys enjoy. Alright, getting into the first battle, we have Rapidash versus Claydol here on the lead. So this is, not too bad because we want to put the fear in them that we do in fact have Megahorn. But what we also want to do is keep this Claydol away from our Victini. So we're going to go straight Body Slam right here, constantly building up. I will give up a shield as well. I still have a lot of energy and damage that I could put out, as Scorching Sands is going to be blocked. No debuff on our end, which is really good. And then we're going to go for the Body Slams here. I'm just trying to do as much chip damage as possible, and we get shield number 2. I don't even have Megahorn, so I'm going to try to get to high horsepower here, which is perfect because this is going to be a lot of neutral damage. It's not going to be enough to one-shot, unfortunately, but it does get them low. Now, this is a no-shield situation with the hardest counter to my Victini about to be out of the game. So I'm going to go ahead and give up a shield on the final Shadow Ball and then farm down, but we do see a Behem. I don't know how to pronounce that. We see this Pokemon come out onto the field, which is pretty cool because the Astonish update allowed it to be part of the meta. But Shadow Ball is going to make quick work of it, and then Shadow Gardevoir in the back is going to get deleted by Victini. Victini as well, I need to be kind of careful because I went for V-Create a bit too soon. And Claydol might have too much health, but it's actually low enough where it doesn't matter. Quick Attack is going to take care of it, and that is going to be a good game, very well played. Alright, moving into the next battle, we have Rapidash versus Medicham. I'm actually surprised Medicham is making it into this one. I know with Psychic Cup, people may only have a few Pokemon that are eligible, so they gotta use Medicham. And Mr. Rhyme, pretty cool to see that as well. But Medicham's obviously gonna have a really tough time in this meta with the counter nerf, and the charge move coverage isn't that great. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to keep going Body Slams into Mr. Rhyme because both of my Pokemon in the back can take care of Medicham, so I'm not too worried about it. I just want to make sure I have enough energy on the back end here to threaten some shields and health against whatever's going to be coming back in. So I shield the Ice Punch, and then we're going to overload some more and go for Body Slam. And then we should be able to farm down. With the chip damage that this can do, I imagined with Fairy Wind we farm down, but it actually is enough to KO. And then we see Jirachi come in, so we're going to swap into Claydol right away. Medicham does come out. Now, Jirachi obviously is very weak to Claydol, right, with the Mud Slaps, but we got to remember we have Victini with V-Create and we have high horsepower. So basically I wanted to bait this Medicham out onto the field, to get rid of the final shield of this game. That way Victini can sweep, and that's exactly what we do. This Mud Slap, I think Mud Slap might be one of my favorite move update that we have seen, because it made so many Pokemon that are struggling actually start to perform well, much like Kanto Marowak, much like Shadow and normal Golurk. Like, Pokemon like that are so cool to see when they actually have energy gain. And I'm also living with a low battery right now, which is rough, but that's okay. Medicham Psychic, right, does nothing, and then it's going to be the Jirachi in the back with Victini and V-Create, so this is going to be a good game. Victini is going to be sweeping a lot of teams for you. Boom! Down it goes, and that is going to be a good game, very well played. Alright, moving into the next one, we have Rapidash on the lead versus Victini. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and swap out right away into Claydol. We're going to make them think. Make them think, right? Get into the minds of your enemies. Make them think that that is a bad matchup for us, right? So we go for Scorching Sands here. We get a shield against the Slowbro. This is fine. This is going to be a Water Gun Slowbro as well. So we're going to go ahead and give up a shield here. I think this is just going to be Scald or Surf. It is going to be the Scald. And then now I'm going to look to go for another Scorching Sands, because this is going to be forcing the second shield from my opponent. They don't want to lose switch advantage, so they will do that, and that is... It's so good. It's so good. And they also throw here. I think they were a bit concerned about where I was in terms of energy, but now you guys are about to see why I run Rapidash with high horsepower. You don't need the Megahorn. Megahorn is nice, don't get me wrong, but when it comes to countering the Galarian Bros and a Victini, or any of the Pokemon that are weak to ground, it's just too good. So, obviously V-Create, we got to stop it, and then we're going to overload just a bit and then go for that high horsepower, as the V-Create is going to be coming through, but they actually counter swap into their own Rapidash, and so I meant to click on Victini, but my phone, I messed up my fingers, and my phone did a little like close instead, and it hit high horsepower, which is unfortunate. So now I'm kind of in a predicament. Megahorn's still going to do a lot of damage. But obviously I would have loved to keep V-Create on, or not V-Create, high horsepower on my Rapidash and swapped in with Victini. But this is going to be a good game anyways, because they have to try to farm me down, which they won't be able to in time. So yeah, I was going over, but instead it tried to close it, and I mean, you guys saw the camera movement, the phone. We fumbled there, but that's okay. Good battle. Alright, moving into the next one, we have Rapidash Mirror. So this is obviously a pretty dangerous situation to be in. It's very reminiscent of Galarian Stunfisk Mirror, if you guys have ever done that, if you guys are old enough in terms of Go Battle League years to remember that mirror, because is it Rock Slide or is it Earthquake? That was always the question. So I'm going to go ahead and shield. It is going to be Body Slam for both of us, which is fine, and they decide to swap out into Slowbro, and now I can come in with Claydol, and this is going to be a very beautiful farm. I could have technically gone for high horsepower then swapped, but I know the Claydol here can put in a lot of work, and we will be able to soak some energy against their own Rapidash on the back end of this. So we're going to go for the Scorching Sands right away, get rid of the Slowbro, and they bring back in the Rapidash, which is fine. It's going to have to throw, and it can't throw Body Slam here, otherwise I survive. So it's going to have to throw the Megahorn, which it does. Boom, down we go. Now we come in with our own Rapidash, and we go for Body Slam here. It's always going to be close, but it still does a lot of neutral damage, and yeah, not enough to take him out. So this is the tough question, is do I shield? And I'm going to decide to do that, because Body Slam would nearly take us out, and the final Pokemon is the Victini. I go for Body Slam here. I should have just gone straight high horsepower. So I go Body Slam. They decide to no shield. I'm like, oh, I could have gotten the free land. That's what I should have done for the booms, but I was playing it with the Body Slam neutral damage, and now I swap out in my own Victini because I put them into a checkmate position. In a Victini mirror, the first Victini to throw loses, and they have to throw in order to try to win. With me having this much health means it's checkmate, right? 2 V creates is not enough, and as you can see, quick attacks take it, and then their Rapidash is super low, so that is going to be a good game, very well played. Remember that. First Victini to throw loses. Alright, moving to the next one. We have the Galarian Slowbro once again on the lead, so we swap out into Claydol, get ahead on energy, and they bring in their own Claydol. This is huge. This is equivalent to the cardinal sin of never swap a Vigoroth into a Vigoroth that just swapped in unless you get an advantage in some way, because now I just take hard switch advantage from my opponent, right? A Shadow Ball landed. This is a free shield. I get to farm down. So lesson learned to my opponent, never swap in a Claydol to a Claydol that I wasn't forced to shield something or I don't have a lot of health missing, right? If I'm fresh and a couple fast moves ahead, it's going to spell bad news for you. So we do see their own Slowbro come in, and now this is looking like an uphill battle for my opponent. And maybe they made a misclick, I don't know, but Scorching Sands lands for free, and then that is a good game. That might have been a misclick. There was a Hoopa in the back, so that could be the reason why. I've made misclicks all the time. I made a misclick like 2 games back, right? I hit high horsepower instead of trying to go for the swap. So it is what it is, but good battle to my opponent. I'm going to be coming in with Rapidash here and just going Body Slam. They have to shield, right? And even if they don't, they let it go through, it is normal into Ghost, but it's still enough damage where, you know, that's going to be a good game. I could have shielded here, but I decided to let it go to get the guarantee win, which is going to be with Victini and Quick Attack. That way they don't sneak through another Shadow Ball. So that is the win con for me, so I'm going to go ahead and give up that shield. And that is going to be a good game. Cool to see Hoopa come in here. Astonish, another great move. Mud Slap and Astonish. They're really good now. Good battle. All right, moving to the next one. We have Rapidash versus Xatu. And I'm like, whoa, 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 what is this thing doing here? We see a swap out into Gothitella. So this is going to be interesting. I'm going to build up a lot of energy and then go for Body Slam. And then I'm going to look to swap into Claydol because Gothitella, I believe it's Rock Slide and Psychic. So I get a no shield for free. I do get hit with Charm, but I get a no shield for free. So I'm just going to go ahead and let this go. And it was, in fact, yeah, Rock Slide. So this is a free farm down, which is great. I have loaded energy. Mud Slap, I'm telling you guys, is so, so good. We see Xatu come in. And even though Mud Slap is resisted, we have Shadow Ball, which is so good on the Claydol. Boom! Nearly one-shots. And now we get a farm down with Mud Slap. And that is going to be a good game. The final Pokemon is going to be Rapidash, which we're gonna gently put down here. We're going for Scorching Sands. Obviously, Shadow Ball will one-shot, but Scorching Sands is going to get the shield anyways. And we get the attack debuff, which is fantastic. And now Victini can take it from here, right? Victini on this team is built for sweeping, and it does that quite often, especially when you set it up. So if you have opportunities like you guys have seen where you can win hard switch advantage pretty easily with the Claydol and have energy on the back end, that's going to be worth it. Otherwise, you come in with your own Rapidash, farm down, throw a high horsepower, whatever you faced off against at the lead or whatever you need to do, and let Victini sweep. And Victini is going to do that quite often because of V-Create. So that is going to be a good game. We go for the double, the back-to-back, because again, when you use V-Create, your defense drops dramatically, so you don't want to be throwing it and then trying to build up to another charge move. You always want to have multiple stored. So good battle to my opponent. All right, moving to the next one. We have Victini on the lead. So this is going to be one of those situations where we swap into Claydol right away. They swap into Shadow Gardevoir, so we can then do exactly what I was talking about last game, where we're going to be either forcing hard switch really easily with this Scorching Sands, or we're going to be getting ourselves the really, really good 2-to-1 shield advantage and let the Rapidash do its thing. So we're going to go ahead and let this go. It is going to be Triple Axle, which is fine. And since it got boosted Triple Axle, I actually changed my approach because now I need to farm down with Victini, and they actually decide to surrender. So that is going to be a good game. If that wasn't Triple Axle, right, then the charm damage wouldn't be as deadly. But yeah. All right, we have the Chompy Fish here on the lead. This is always a nightmare to deal with, and they swap out into their own Rapidash, so I get to go for a free Body Slam shield bait, right? They don't know I have high horsepower and not Megahorn, so we do get a shield there. I'm going to swap out into Victini now, and this is the thing. You got to be prepared for high horsepower because people will do it, so I'm going to shield. It was Megahorn, which is still great damage against Victini, don't get me wrong, but yeah. Always remember the other person could have high horsepower too, so don't get caught out thinking you're the only one. So I shield accordingly there. And then we do see Claydol come in. And this is actually really good because I get to go for double V create right now. As long as I think I survived this Mud Slap. So I get to go for double V create, which is going to be forcing a shield for my opponent. They actually would survive this if they decide to no shield, I think, looking at the health. And they decide to shield anyways, which is fine. I come in with my own Claydol, and that's basically going to be a good game. The Bruxish, the Chompy Fish, as I like to call it, is going to be able to swap in right now. And I should have gone for Body Slam right here, but I forgot that it has Aqua Tail. I thought it had a little ways to get to it, but yeah, that was a bad play on my end. I could have gotten a free Body Slam. It's not going to change the outcome of this game. The outcome of this game is making sure that I have more energy than their Claydol. Remember, their Claydol just threw a charge move at me, so they're zeroed out. And so now I need to make sure, which I did with having 2 extra Mud Slaps there, that I beat them to the Scorching Sands, and that is going to be a good game, very well played. So I could have still won if I just threw Body Slam against the Bruxish, but either way, good game to my opponent. Alright, moving to the next one, we have Rapidash versus Victini once again on the lead. Going to be swapping out into the Claydol right away, getting ahead on energy and making them think that my own Rapidash isn't a great answer. They bring in a Rapidash here, which is going to allow me to put a lot of pressure down with Mud Slap and Scorching Sands. It actually does quite a bit of neutral damage, so they decide to shield, which is fine. I believe we got the attack debuff as well. So I should be no shielding this, but I decide to shield anyways, and it was a Body Slam. If you get that attack debuff, you really want to let the charge move go through because now a Megahorn is not going to one-shot. You guys are going to see that actually it doesn't anymore, which is good to know on your end, right? This was a learning experience for me, but now I'm in kind of a tough position because I know they're going to let this go. They're going to let this go, and they're going to come back in with Victini and get a healthy farm down, but I thankfully get some Mud Slap damage down. I'm going to come in with my own Victini, and again, the Victini that throws first loses, right? Because now their defense is dropped, so they have to swap out. And now I get to see what else is going to be coming in, and it's going to be the Slowbro. And this, everyone, V-Create's going to hit like a truck, right? They decide to shield, and now Rapidash gets to do what I have been wanting to do this whole time, which is the high horsepower. We have to shield right here. I can't take any more chip damage, even if Brutal Swing's only neutral. I'm going to overload on energy and go for high horsepower, and this is why it is so good. It's just, boom, see ya, and then the Victini coming in. I'm going to go for I was going to go for Body Slam, but they decide to throw V-Create, which is fine with me. Again, their defense is now dropped, which makes it easier for me to potentially win this game. So I go for V-Create. I don't think I survive. It's so close. Yeah, I go down. I should have thrown the Body Slam. I had a free win right there. Twice now, I have been caught out with not throwing Body Slam. Good game to my opponent. All right, we got Claydol here on the lead. So we're going to fake that Megahorn. We're going to be going for Body Slams. What you don't want to do is throw high horsepower at this point and they shield because then they know what you have. At least if you throw Body Slam, you still have the threat. And if they no shield the Body Slam, right, you still have the threat of Megahorn. That's the whole point. You don't want them to know your moveset. So we start overloading on energy. We go for another Body Slam here. Rapidash with the Fairy Wind gets to the Body Slam so quickly. Even though Body Slam's damage was nerfed this season, it's still good damage. And they swap out into Victini. Can I get a V for victory here as boo? Oh, it didn't one-shot, but we swap into Claydol. And that, oh man, this Victini did not see that coming. I'm telling you guys. High horsepower is so good. V-Create, we easily let go through. And this is a 1-0 shield scenario now for us. This is so, so good. They bring in the Claydol. We can easily shield here. I don't know what they have in the back, but I know that if I shield this and load up a bit of extra energy, I can get to a charge move against whatever's in the back, and it's gonna be weak to Shadow Ball, or it's gonna take neutral or super effective from Scorching Sands. That's just a fact. And it's actually going to be Gardevoir, so I have to swap into my Victini to close this one out as I resist Charm, and V-Create is so much neutral damage that a Shadow Gardevoir unshielded is going to get roasted. Boom. See ya. Good battle. Alright, moving to the next one, we have Rapidash on the lead versus Galarian Slowbro again. So we're going to be swapping out. Again, making them think we don't have a great answer. We're going to bring in Claydol, which actually does a lot of damage, and they're not swapping out. This is a tell. I'm like, okay, I got to keep Claydol alive. They clearly don't want to swap into me, but they do now, and they come in with Rapidash, which is fine. I go for Shadow Ball here to guarantee even the shields, and then we'll kind of take it from here, see what they decide to do. They decide to shield. I don't necessarily need to be giving up a shield right here for hard switch advantage, but I'm going to decide to let it go, and it was Body Slam, which is perfect. This now forces them to throw all of their energy. This has to be Megahorn to take me out, otherwise I get to another charge move, and it was just Body Slam. So now I get to go for the free Shadow Ball, get myself that 1-0 shield advantage or switch, both of which I will take. It's a win-win for me. I counter swap into Rapidash and start loading up on energy, because you and I both know what's about to happen, right? They're going to try to throw Megahorn, so they're going to force my shield, and then they're going to swap back into Slowbro, and Slowbro ain't going to like the high horsepower. I'm telling you, it's such a better move than Megahorn in this meta. See ya. Boom! One shot, and then the Rapidash comes in, so we go for Body Slam, and this is looking to be a good game. Very well played. We still have Victini, we still have Claydol, we still have sacrificial swaps. It's a Victini in the back, and like I've said before, first Victini to throw loses, and they're going to have to throw. I go for Body Slam this time. I've learned my lesson. Stop trying to build up to high horsepower thinking you can get to it or you need it. Just do the chip and dip, right? Do the chip damage. V-Create is thrown, and now that is a good game. Victini comes in, and that is going to be a good game. Very well played. It's just the nature of Victini. It's such a double-edged sword, right? You do incredible damage in this meta, but you also hurt yourself when you do it. So remember the mantra, first Victini to throw loses. That will save you a lot of headache in some of these games. Good battle. Alright, moving to the next one. We have Rapidash versus Malamar. This is going to be the final battle of the video. They swap out into Slowking, so I bring in the Claydol. Now, a safe swap Galarian Slowking is screaming from the rooftops that there is a Galarian Slowbro in the back, especially when you consider the Malamar lead. Think about it. That is a ABB team if I have ever seen one in my life for the Psychic Cup. So we're going to play to that. We know we need our Victini to kind of close this game out, but we also know that I need Claydol alive. So I'm going to keep Claydol alive here. I'm going to farm down, and then we're going to see the Malamar come in. I'm going to go for Scorching Sands, as it's still going to do a lot of damage. And then we're going to see if we can bait out the Galarian Slowbro. So I'm just going to let them go for the foul play here. I know it's coming, right? It's going to do super effective damage. But with the Slowbro coming out, we will have the Victini swap in. So we're going to bring in the Rapidash. We baited it out, and now they don't see it coming. High horsepower. Boom! One shots the Slowbro, and that is going to be a good game. We go for Body Slam here. This Malamar is tilted. It is going to be trying its best to win, but they decide to let it go, and the high horsepower gets them every time. Good game. Overall, This team was a lot of fun, very powerful. Again, I went, I believe, 11-1. I did 2.5 sets. It could be 12-1, but those were all the battles right there. And that, it was so good, so satisfying to use. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. High horsepower on Rapidash in this meta, I think, is just far better. Let's see, where do we jump to? Is far better, in my opinion, for this meta, because when you utilize Rapidash for its purpose to kind of do well body slam spam, you have that back end coverage for the Galarian Bros, for the Victinis, for the for the counters, or the Pokemon that can beat it. The high horsepower covers that, and it's so satisfying. And plus, people sleep on it, right? They see Megahorn, that's the meta move. It's a Psychic Cup, it makes sense, but high horsepower is strictly better, in my opinion. And I showcased that today with the set of battles. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and like always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.